Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 Millennium Dawn with me, Alpha Biomega, and Ukraine. So, the date of recording is 20th of March, and just today, Ukraine has published new estimates of the damage done by the invading Russian forces. I believe that it was a week ago or something like that when I mentioned that it was roughly $200 billion, and now it's up to $550 billion. Which is still a bit less than I actually expected, considering the damage to the infrastructure and to the residential cities that I mentioned in the previous episodes. But still, if you consider that Ukraine's overall yearly GDP is about $200 billion, this is nearly 3 years' worth of production. And that's just insane. And I want to mention this because it brings to the forefront again the need for help. Now, I know that you are probably bombarded by this on a daily basis from everywhere, but as a rule of thumb goes and as experience tells, people will lose interest. As this will continue on, there will be less news and less money flowing to Ukraine. So I want to mention this and stress this out, that the need for help is ongoing, and it will be. Now, I don't want to really direct you to any charity of any sorts, because you guys are much more versed in your own country's affairs to know which are the reputable charities that you can support. And I want to stress that it doesn't have to be money, really. It can be anything. Like, I live in Czech Republic, we have a large Ukrainian population here, and about 300,000 people have come here already from Ukraine. And so, you know, it's easy. We donated clothes that we don't wear, we donated medicine that we don't need, and I had some extra money on my, we call it the, what's it called? It's like a benefit program from your company. So I just went to the pharmacy, and instead of buying something for myself, I just bought a huge box of baby formulas and donated that, because there's a lot of mothers with small children here. So you can do stuff like that. Or you can actually help by purchasing something for yourself. I will post this as a top comment. There is a humble bundle that's called I Stand With Ukraine, and you can donate whatever you want there. And in return, you will get games and books and other stuff. And all of this money will go to Ukraine. So that's the way you can do it. Or after I finish recording this, we are going with my girlfriend to a charity concert. And all the musicians there waived their fee, so they're playing for free, and whatever we pay there will be going to Ukraine. So you can help like that as well. There's many options, and I just want to mention that it's like important to continue with the support. You know, anyway, if all fails, you can just go down to your local Ukrainian embassy webpage, and they will have many links there, including links to bank accounts of the Ukrainian army that you can directly donate to. Just be mindful, and I stress this every time I speak about this, that as time will go, more and more shady people will jump on the bandwagon and try to swindle you out of your money. So make sure that you donate only to reputable charities, or that you donate goods and services that are directly oriented to it, not that you will just give money to people on the street. Unfortunately, humans, as always, are garbage, and there will be many, and even from Ukraine, you know, I'm not saying that Ukrainians will be all just not, suddenly saint. So make sure that you know how you are helping. Now, this whole situation is a massive tragedy, so we can all just band together and help. So please. Oh, by the way, if you have any interesting ideas how people can help, just post them in the comments. Like, I mean, I'm searching for some things, and I was, for example, very surprised by the humble bundle offer. So that's a great thing. If you have any other ideas or options that you're using, just post them. You know, people can use it if they want. There's no limit to the generosity. And I actually really like the way these things work, that you donate money and you get something in return, which would other than this instance wouldn't be free. Basically, this is the beauty of digital economy, where you can just give out games, because there's no overhead cost, there's no CDs or manufacturing, it's just digital. So charities like this are really nice perk of the digital era. Anyway, that's enough for this. I don't want to sound like I'm begging on behalf of Ukraine, but really, make sure that if you are willing to able, if you are, for a long time in my life, I had a deep pocket. Now I'm pretty much doing well for myself, and we're preparing to have a family with my girlfriend, so that tells you that we still have a certain financial strain on us, but still, we can spare. So if you can spare, do it. If you can't, don't feel bad. Like, there are many other people that can spare money and won't. By the way, one thing that I actually wanted to mention that's related to the war in Ukraine, I was reading a really long newspaper article that was speaking about the involvement of Elon Musk on Ukraine. Now, I know that he has given the Starlink network, the Starlink satellite network, for free to Ukraine so that they can use it during the war. But it turns out that it's actually really helpful. The Ukrainian army has been using these satellites to pinpoint valuable Russian targets, and they're using little spy drones to, what would be the correct word? To precision strike these most valuable targets. So I was surprised that even thing like giving Ukraine the ability to use the Starlink spy network can be this beneficial to the regular soldier, because I thought that they would be just using it to monitor the movement of Russian forces, but no, they're using it for this, so awesome. I believe that today Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky also officially thanked Elon Musk for his contribution. So if you want to read about a bit more about this, you can Google it. It's pretty interesting reading. I'm sure there will be a lot of things about that. Okay, now let's play the game. I spent 7 minutes talking already about Ukraine, so we want to make sure that we don't follow in those steps. Unfortunately, I'm still going to have to start with the bad news. We got an event that I've never seen before. It's called Novorossian sabotage. The violent tendencies of the Novorossians has shown its ugly face. They've decided to attack some facilities in Ukraine today, severely damaging local infrastructure and industrial yards. Casualties are not yet totaled, but it is estimated something between 5 to 25 have been lost. So this lowers stability of our regime by 5, raises the chance of revolt by 3, lowers our manpower by 25, and we get a huge amount of damage and infrastructure hurt. And I'm really hoping that the damage to naval yard in Odessa is not going to kill our... Oh, actually it can, because we already finished it. I forgot about that. I was afraid that we won't get that extra research on, but damn, I backed myself into a corner there. So sabotage. Unfortunately, this means that our chance of revolt is now 16. So we really need to start courting the local leaders immediately. Where is it? Here, 150. We need, in about 20 days we can start with that. Hopefully no more bad events are going to hit us in the meantime. On the other hand, let's talk about the positive things now. The first one is that with the growth of economy, our interest rate dropped to 5.7%. And then you can see that the interest paid on debt is now 530... actually, no, wait, that's... 530 billion... 0.33 billion per week. That means our overall year balance now is almost 1.5 billion. This goes together with the fact that we finished one of the factories that we had here, and the fact that I think it was the Russians, though, to be quite fair. Yeah, the Russians have finished their factory in Crimea, giving us an extra boost, and another civilian industry in Crimea will be built by the Germans, and they actually reached to us and offered to build another factory in Siberia. So yeah, they are helping us significantly, and that is good. We'll finish this factory and then switch to our first military construction in over Dnipro. But with this amount of income, I'm actually pretty sure that at this point we are just going to start spamming the leasing industrial complexes and industrial projects again, which we can actually start right now, can't we? Yeah, actually I don't know how much this costs. It's 0.05 of the GDP, so this will just keep racking up. On the other hand, it's going to speed this construction by 25%, and I actually kind of like that. So let's just go ahead and spam it and see what the cost is going to be. I'll keep this money in stock in case we drop to 0 or into a negative, so that we don't start purchasing more. But yeah, I'm positive that our country will now be okay, unless we really get a huge hit into our economy performance or economic cycle. So that's the good news. With that comes more good news, and actually those will have to wait, but I got the KMDB infantry weapon manufacturer that increases weapon research by 21% and soft attack and reliability of the weapons by 10%. Now, that's not going to help us with anything right now, but eventually once we start researching more, we will get a boost there. It would have been nice to get it before I actually researched this, but we didn't have the 153 political power for that. Building on that, though, I want to start investing into our people a bit more, because this income is pretty good. I believe that it would be nice to switch to basic hospital subsidies, which will increase our stability, monthly population, division recovery rate, and offensive and defensive war penalty will be reduced. The tax cost will also be reduced, which is really nice, but the cost here is about $500 million, but we can afford it now, and I believe that our people deserve it. Now, we could also go with the free universal quality education, which is also good and would be cheaper. So I want to bump both of these up, but it will depend on the performance of our economy. Now, we need to keep lowering the debt, but as you can see, the interest rate is dropping, so we don't really need to repay the debt per se. We just need to keep it manageable, which is what most of the countries are doing. I also wanted to mention that the international bankers are still at 65, but the farmers are now at 75, lowering the tax cost by 2.5%, and the oligarchs are now speeding our civilian factory construction speed by 1.5. So I actually welcome them. Our relation with them is being pretty good. We finished the SRDSC. The SRDSC is the State Research and Design Shipbuilding Center that handles the research and development of warships and lighter ships for the Ukrainian Navy and other countries who contract the SRDSC. And right now we are working on the Ukrainian Armed Forces reform. The current state of the army leaves much to desire. Having carried out the necessary reforms, we will be able to increase the quality of training and organization of the Ukrainian Armed Forces. This gives us a division attack and defense bonus of 10%, an extra 15% recruitable population factor. And once that is done, I'm actually going to, I guess, switch to maybe closer ties with the EU or closer ties with... No, we're going to go with the EU policies. We need 150 political power because I spent a bit on the KMDB weapon manufacturer, and now the game has hit me with the Novorossian treachery, so we will need to have extra for support campaigns because the stability of the regime is really not that good. 40% is very low. We need to up it up. But before we move to anything like that, I wanted to put the navies back together and have them upgrade. Yeah, those ones that are not yet upgraded, we'll put them to good use because those naval capacities can help us there. Okay, so that's gonna take a bit, yeah, but some of them are damaged. Damn, we need to finish these. Yeah, let's repair those pronto. So you first, you second. Okay, so like this. Damn, that's gonna put a dent in us. How long is this gonna take? 30th. Okay, it's not that long. Look at that, it's gonna repair pretty fast. 30th of October. 2005. Yeah, okay. The repair modifier is pretty high for your factories, so that is good. 11th of December. Yeah, we will be fine. But we need to repair those factories pronto, and I really need to... well, we don't have the revolution timer here. So that gives me hope, but I'm not gonna leave it there for the game to realize what's happening. We're gonna lower it as fast as we can. Oh yeah, look at that. We're actually in the depth now. So I don't think that this one is that worth it. What is it called? The infrastructural, industrial project is very expensive. So we can actually afford that. So let's just stick with the leasing of industrial capacities. Okay, one of the factories has been finished. Now we're repairing the Odessa shipyard, and we finished the C4I equipment now. Good. So let's switch you to... Oh, updates are available. Great, thank you, Windows. Thank you for disturbing my video. Okay, I think we're gonna go with the BTR-90 next. And once we're done with the BTR-4, we are going to start researching the ATGMs and the manpads. Actually, can you go away? I don't want to see you here. Because those are all things that we are actively producing, as is the C3R Star equipment. Okay, we went up to almost 2 per day, and now we're gonna switch it again, which is great, 3.77 per week. But that's the last change that we're gonna do to it in at least a decade, so that's good. I'm happy that we can produce this. I don't know how many we have actually among our units. Let's have a little look. So you need like 40. Okay, so if we have, say, let's ballpark this number. Let's say we need 30 per unit. We have 12, 20, 37, so let's say 40. So we need about 1,200. Wait, 1,200? It doesn't make any sense. If we're missing... Okay, let's call it 5,000. So we're gonna produce this, and about the same amount we'll need to upgrade. Damn, that math is really wonky there. I think that I'm completely off. But as we are producing more small arms now, almost 10 per day, in about a year we'll have everyone in the army equipped, and we will start upgrading their weapons, which will be a nice cue for me to start reforming the other units. Okay, so we get the armed forces reform, and I think the EU policies are now a good thing to go with. Because that extra 150 power will be pretty good. So still no revolution? Nope, still no revolution. But we really need to lower this. I hope that the fact that we stopped it then didn't mean that we are done with it, but I wouldn't think that such an oversight would go past the producers of the mod. Okay, I know we want these as soon as possible, so that will be our next target. And we are actually full on fuel now, so I think I can just keep throwing you to the ground. Okay, 152. Let's court local leaders. What is the problem? Oh, requires over 50 stability. Damn, okay. Support campaigns then. Oh, that's bad. Let's hope that the game hasn't noticed that. Send in the National Guard. It would increase the farmers and oligarchs' opinion. But that actually hurts you. Why is this like a good thing? Just because it raises the stability? Well, if it raises the chance of revolt this much, I'm not entirely sure that it can be beneficial in any sense. Okay, you can see that we are researching the UMTS. I think I might have done that off-cam. So the MTS will give us extra military industry output of 5% and reinforced rate of 4, and the Edge will give us extra research speed of 5, which is pretty good. Unlike UMTS, enhanced data rates for GSM evolution, or Edge, doesn't require new base stations or new frequency allocations. Through the introduction of sophisticated methods of coding and transmitting data, Edge delivers higher bit rates per radio channel. So that's good. And the extra, but you probably guessed that, but the extra slot has been dedicated to construction. Because again, 7.5% of construction is pretty good. Election campaigns heating up as the race enters final 2 weeks. Since the last election on 1st of On 21st of November 1999, Petro Poroshenko has been steadily steering Ukraine. It's actually not true. We switched him instead of that terrible, terrible man. Most of the campaign's advertising spending has already taken place and polls are starting to pick up the effort. Okay, let's see how that's gonna go. I actually wanted to mention that our tax cost on the factories has been growing less and less penalizing. You can see that we still have 45% of the consumer tax goods, but the farmers are ruling it by 2%, stability by 1%, pro-Ukraine government refund by 5%. We're going to get additional reduction from the healthcare, and that is going to be good. Now let me see if the game is not... Nope, it's not throwing that for that revolution at me again. Okay, as the final voting draws ever closer, we have to decide who to contrast our foreign policy with. Attack the emerging outlook imbeciles, or attack the Western outlook morons. So let's attack the emerging outlook imbeciles. Let's hope for no negative feedback from that. I actually am interested in seeing how this popularity is going to be affected by the new government. If it's going to go down or go up, or what is going to happen. The SPU is probably going to not be able to form a new government, so we're gonna see. It's going to be interesting. It is going to be interesting, definitely. 21 factories. Invite a controversial speaker to the campaign. Ordinarily, this would never have been suggested out loud, let alone considered seriously, but due to Petro Poroshenko's low approval rating, it might be a risk worth taking. The speaker is a fringe member of our party, known for making a number of controversial statements in the past and speaking at inopportune times. However, they are very popular among students and young people, a key group we need to convince to vote our way. Don't risk it or invite them and hope for the best. We can get a huge rally turnout or disaster for Petro Poroshenko. Quite honestly, I don't think they can lose more, so let's invite them and see. It's 50-50, so I wonder if the game is going to tell us. Huge rally turnout. The rally was a great success. The audience turnout of the whole campaign season was massive. Not only did the controversial speaker heap praise on Petro Poroshenko and preach party unity, it was done in such an enthusiastic and convincing way that nobody suspected it was actually Petro Poroshenko's team who had written the remarks in their entirety. A much needed boost for the campaign. Well, they got 1% out of that, so it's not such a... But they got 5.6% in the last election, so I guess the SPU is doing good. We'll see how it's gonna go. I think that we're gonna have a huge change in the government anyway. There's nothing we can do about it. Inconclusive outcome for Petro Poroshenko. Okay, we can form a new government. We've done this before and it was kind of fun. Good news is that we fixed all of the factories now, so we're working on the over Dnipro one again. Good for us. But we need to be careful about these things in the future. I don't want to get the industrial project. It's just too expensive for us. We can't afford it. Okay, so we have 41% and Invade 45. So we can't invite the PRU and we can't invite the liberals, but we could invite the PMU and the oligarchs. Okay. Fine. I wish I knew these parties actually, because I'm not that versed in Ukrainian politics. But if we invite the PMU, negotiations with PMU, if you accept our cooperation, we sincerely hope that you won't tarnish the good name of PMU with foolish and rash policymaking and so-called modern thinking. To minimize the risk, please refer to the attached document listing the department we wish to run in their entirety. 248 political power. Jesus, we don't have that much. I don't think we can accept it. The game will not allow us. Right? Would this be enough? 13... 13.8. Yeah, it wouldn't be enough. So I would need oligarchs as well. Welcome aboard. PRRU. What kind of party is that? Because, you know, with the 15%, I don't think that is actually worth working at. The PRRU are emerging outlook. Oh, they want to remove the prevailing liberal world order. Damn. It's really bad. I don't really want those. I don't know if we can actually do it. If we get... Oh, okay. Is it blocked now? Oh, no. SPU, give up forming government. Currently dismantled. Let's give... Okay, liberals. Who are the liberals? Okay, let's give the liberals a try. And that's gonna give us a bit of extra political power. So we got 15.5. That would be 25. Invite PMU. Okay, so that's 29. And then if we get U2, 39, yeah, that would work. Okay, that's the weirdest government that I can imagine. A 4 coalition: liberals, PMU, fatherland, and oligarchs. Great news. Okay, did it do anything? Nope, it didn't do anything with the international opinion. Okay, and Mykola Borisov. I actually don't know who this guy is. I'm not gonna lie. Never seen him mentioned anywhere. So if you know who this politician is, please let me know in the comments. I would be interested in hearing your opinion. I'm gonna check on him. He seems, you know, kind of politician-like. So let's hope that he's not some bad man that's doing bad things for bad purposes. And we even get out of this with a, not a bad reputation. Support campaign still running, no revolution occurring. Awesome. So let's hope it's gonna stay that way. The EU policies are gonna give us enough to court the local leaders. So hopefully that's going to work in our favor. And UMTS and Edge will be done soon. Damn, we still lose money. It's a long-term effect there. Is that? No. Okay, it's not affecting our interest rate at this point. But see, this is what I meant, that this one is way more expensive. And it's not even giving us that much of an effect. Actually, I think it's the same effect as the least industrial complexes now, as we get 2 extra factories out of that, and it's beating it by 25%. How's the GDP doing anyway? Almost at 14,500. 717 billion. Okay. Total expenses, gross income. Not bad. Interest on debt is dropping, so that's good. So we get the Edge and UMTS. Let's see what we can get instead. Now, industrial technologies. We could get the extra excavation, and I could get the industrial production of nanofibers, and we got the early high speed. So let's go with these. It's actually going to benefit us. Extra 7.5% of resources, and extra production and military and naval yard output. I'm okay with it. And you can see that the times of these has dropped significantly from like 600 days originally to not even a year. So that is pretty darn goddamn good. Okay. With that said though, that helped our income a bit. No, it did not. It did not. Well, never mind then. Never mind. But the 5 slots are much better than the 3 that we started with originally. How's the production? Only 287 APCs need to be replaced. That's great, but we are going to switch you soon to a better model. This is good though. We are almost done with reinforcing all of our units with anti-tank guided missiles. Yeah, the defense of our units are starting to rack up. I remember it was something like 30 when we checked it last time on the Zagin. Still far from the 160 that they're supposed to have. What's the biggest problem? Is the manpads? No, it's... I guess it's the old small arms that they have. The tanks, of course. I don't think the command equipment is actually giving anything to defense, is it? It might be though, I'm not entirely sure. No, it's a recovery rate and organization. Interesting. Well, one thing that I wanted to mention and that I haven't is that yes, we are fixing the last ship, which means we can design a new ship. Now I spoke about this before. We have the 1980 destroyer hull. So the thing that I want to ask myself is, are we going to research the better hull? Well, the better hull would give us way more ability here, and I guess that if we want to get more destroyers up and running, it is an actually good idea. So I will devote one of my research slots to getting a 1995 destroyer hull, and we are going to design a new destroyer for ourselves. So this one, unfortunately, the question that I have is, do we want to go all the way, or do we want to keep it where it is now? It's such an issue. Some detection. 33, 32. The armor and health is the biggest thing in that. This one has 180, this one has 240. You know what? No, we're not going to waste our research on that right now. Let's design a new... We need to refurbish the Navy, so we need first models first. So let's use the EU policies that we just gained to court local leaders. Oh, we can't. Still 28 days running. Okay, never mind. It did not happen. I think that we might actually look at privatize of state enterprises. Oligarchs changed their opinion, but international bankers changed their opinion. No, we can get the SSAU, extra 5% boost to research. And we will end this episode by designing the new destroyer. So let's go with the new destroyer hull. I don't think we have... Yeah, just best match. Okay, so we will... Oh, this is gonna be good. So we can give you a wide helipad that gives sub-detection, surface detection, wide attack, wide piercing. Okay. We can get... what here? Point defense. The VLSs are pretty good. Surface to air is against anti-air. This is anti-ship. Okay, one thing that we need to look at is what kind of thing the frigates are going to... what kind of role they're going to have. So they get wide attack and wide piercing. And they get anti-air 126. Well, you guys have anti-air 49. So all of our ships seems to be pretty rounded. So let's make these destroyers anti-ship. I think that's actually not a bad idea. Well, they're small, but they can still work very well in that role. So let's go anti-ship. So we'll give you a helipad. And anti-submarine, actually, that's a pretty good idea as well. So VLS, anti-ship missile, heavy attack, heavy piercing, and anti-submarine warfare. Yes. Can we get the same thing here? Yes. Okay. Wait, are we getting opponents here? Yeah. To heavy attack and anti-submarine. The piercing is the same, which is fine. Now we need light guns here. Wait, what are you doing? 127mm light attack or light piercing? So that is pretty good. And anti-air as well. So I'm fine with that. And can we get some torpedoes here? We can. Torpedo attack 21. Torpedo attack 42. We need a... Actually, what's the difference between sonar? Subdetection and surface detection. And you get subdetection and surface... Oh, that helps with attack and anti-air. And you help with light attack and heavy attack. Okay, so let's give you the sonar. Digital integrated attack. And you're gonna have... Let's give you an early reactor. So that means you got light attack of 72, light piercing of 22, heavy attack of 44. So you're actually able to torpedo and work against submarines as well. So I think that is pretty good. Can I see that's... I don't want to lose the screen, but can I see the ships now and compare them? Yes, okay. So our frigates have a light attack of 53, light piercing, which is slightly lower, torpedo attack of 25, anti-submarine of 34. Okay, so you got even more, armor of 15, you got 18, anti-air of 25. Okay, so these guys need to cover you from air. Kinda got it, that's pretty good. Fuel usage. Surface visibility is 12. Surface detection is 48. Subdetection is 79. Minesweep ping is 0.5. HP 200. And it's fairly slow, but I'm okay with that. So let's call this one Pride of Crimea. And save it. And we'll start producing these. It's going to be a slow process, I'm pretty sure, but we'll make it work eventually. How much do you need? Wait. 412, that's not that bad. It should work eventually. We're going to build 2 of these and add them to our fleet. Okay, and on that note, I'm going to end the episode here. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one, where we continue the story of Ukraine. We are getting deeper into the reforming and enhancing of our army, which is pretty good. I'm happy with how it's going, though we need to really start working on these military factories. But we will, you know, we're building one civilian, then one military, 2 civilian, 1 military, 1 civilian, 1 military, and so on and so on. So it's gonna boost our production, military production, pretty damn sweet. I think that we actually mentioned that before, but that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and we need 1, 2, 3 for the basic production, and then the other ones will be added to the Air Force and the tanks, but we need to research those first, which will come the latest. So thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next episode.